Alright, so my post-birthday 7-star was Bishop, and this guy is a monster, man. His damage output is crazy, his utility is also pretty good, but his value in Battlegrounds is just unreal. I feel like he is a top 5 7-star, and a top 5 mutant as well, because he is just so valuable for your account. Like, when you're both a crazy strong attacker and defender, I think you get like a ton of bonus points, to be honest. And Bishop is annoying to fight. As a 7-star especially, like a rank 2 one, oh my gosh, I do not want to imagine that. But here I dropped SP2 and some pretty nice damage output. Of course, Bishop has that one little like con to where he does really want to crit, but it's not as bad with him because if he doesn't crit, he still has an Incinerate debuff that does a ton of damage as well. So it kind of makes up for it, to be honest. But yeah, when you get the crit though, still very sweet. Like, watch this. We go in, we build the SP2 real quick, and then once that is like, dropped, then we're going to drop our own SP2 and just watch the result, man. It is really fun. So here I dropped the SP2. All crits right there, 57,000 per hit. It is just wild, man. That was a minute flat. Very fun time. And Bishop is one of the best mutant questers out there. I feel like he's probably like top 3 in that category with, Apocalypse and Sunspot being 1 and 2. But this guy is just a monster, man, because his utility is like made for mutant lanes. For example, right here, whenever you get a regen, you get a Fury passive, right? And Bishop regens on block, and he has a ton of them as well. But not only that, the regen makes him good for just questing in general because it's a very good safety net to have. And the regen also purifies bleed debuff, so you can take bleed lanes as well. So he just takes a lot of lanes, man. Like, and for mutant questing, he is just so powerful. Like, watch this. We bait out the regeneration here, and then we go in, drop the parry into the SP2, and yeah, just one-shot Night Thrasher there. So much fun, man. Additionally, he has prowess, a ton of prowess, and prowess is like the biggest mutant trope out there, so he just covers pretty much everything well in the mutant class, which is perfect. And yeah, this man is just so strong. He is just such a strong champion. And additionally, he's great for questing because whenever you finish a fight, you carry over your power bar. And that is just insane, man. Like, I feel like that was made for defense purposes, but on attack also, it is just crazy good for questing. So yeah, this man is just a powerhouse and a half, to be honest. He just has so much going on for him. This SP2 right here, 108,000 per crit there, pretty nice. And last but not least, definitely not least, against purifiers, he is just unreal. Like, he is just so good versus them. Like, watch this. He goes in, parry, purify, and check out this damage output, man. That was like over 100,000 damage right there. It is just so crazy. But then we go in again, we drop the SP2 after a slight delay here, one more parry, go in, drop it, and yeah, fight's just over. He is so insane versus purify characters, man. Like, Korgs, Kingpins, he just takes so well. Agent Venoms, I think he's the best purify counter in the game. Sorry, but I think it's just true. Actually, no, of course it's Apocalypse because he just like cancels it 100%. But when it comes to punishing it, it is Bishop 100%. But now we have this Mighty Charge lane. The Mighty Charge is a purify. So watch this. We drop the SP1 here. By the way, SP1, great animation. We go back in, we dash back, and see that damage that he took? That's pretty sweet. Like, whenever we dash back, he just takes a bunch of damage output, and it's really fun to do. So yeah, Bishop just has a lot of use for sure. He has a ton of Incinerate to, like, apply onto the opponent, which can be good for, like, Incinerate lanes, or just, a lot of debuff lanes, right? Like, he can just take a ton of stuff because of his Incinerates, and not only that, he punishes Purify, he has a ton of damage output on the SP2, he has the SP3 as well, which, with full synergy, is so crazy, man. So yeah, like, he just has a ton of things, right? And like I said, there's not many cons to this champion, but one is that he does want to crit a lot in, like, his most ideal matchups, which is... Actually, no, because, like, even versus Purify characters, you don't have to crit because you still do a ton of damage output with the Purify mechanic, right? So, yeah, like, I don't know, man. There isn't too many cons to this champion. He's just a great champion overall. So here I dropped the SP2, and yeah, the fight is just over now in about, what, I think a minute? Yeah, not too shabby. And now we have this complex mutant lane, but he just destroys it, like, with absolute ease, because this wants you to have a lot of debuffs on the opponent, right? And Bishop with this P1 inflicts a ton of Incinerates. And I know it's like a defensive thing, but it's also pretty good on attack as well, because versus like Purify characters, versus lanes like this, it is really useful. And I feel like he is probably the best option for this lane besides Sunspot, which, to be honest, I don't know who's the best Mutant 7-star between Bishop and Sunspot. I feel like they're both better than Danny Moonstar, but between them, I feel like it's really tough because Sunspot's ceiling is insane, but Bishop is just a crazy all-arounder, like on both attack and defense, right? So I don't know, it's pretty tough to like decide between them. But here I drop the heavy attack, we go back in, drop the SP2, and yeah, 123,000 damage output there on the crits. Very crazy stuff, and the fight is just over now in about, what, 40 something seconds? I think 44, yeah, very solid there. Now we have this energy adoption lane, and Bishop is a bit weird because versus like Incinerates and Shocks, he does like consume his prowess to just do a bunch of damage to the opponent, right? But with Cold Snap, he doesn't do that. He just gains a ton of prowess, right? So he's very good for like these Cold Snap lanes, for any energy damage lane, to be honest. But one thing I don't really like is his energy resistance is pretty good, but versus like high energy damage like debuffs, he can't really take him that reliably, which is like my one complaint, to be honest. Like, I wish he just had immunity to the effects, but I understand how he couldn't do it because he wouldn't be as strong on defense if he like just had the immunities to them. So yeah, it is what it is, but I wish he like had maybe a synergy or something to give him full immunity. That would be pretty cool, to be honest, but he still is a very solid champion, don't get me wrong. That's just like one minor complaint that I have with this already broken champion, right? But here I dropped this SP2, very nice damage output there. That was like, what, 41,000 damage, pretty sweet. And the fight is just pretty much over now. A very, very clean fight overall. And yeah, one more SP1 here, and that should seal the deal. No, it doesn't, I lied. But watch this, this does right here. There we go, yeah. Pretty fast to like, what, a minute and 9 seconds, not too bad. And now we have this freezer burn lane here, and this is like very strong energy damage debuffs. But thankfully there's a safety net, because with this node, whenever you get a buff, you purify all debuffs on you, right? So Bishop has regen, like he has the regen buff. So whenever we like dash back, hold block, we can just purify them, right? And watch this, we're taking about 300 damage output per incinerate, which is a lot higher than I was thinking, because yeah, I think he has about 4.5 thousand energy res, which is pretty massive, right? But it isn't enough to like not even get a net like regen on one incinerate debuff, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. But the SP2 was crazy strong. Like, that was a really strong SP2 right there. Like, that's my one complaint about him, just the fact that his energy res isn't as strong as I think it would be, but that's fine. Like, he can just, you know, not be used for those lanes. Just use the immune champions, you know, it's no big deal, right? But here I dropped SP2 again, and yeah, the fight is just over. And now we have this wasp fight here, and you can see that we have 2 bars of power. So yeah, very fun times ahead. Like, watch this, man. It's just so crazy. Oh, we get some parries going. We get some more parries going. Bishop, you want to spam parry, right? But with Bishop, he has like insanely good block efficiency. So the parrying doesn't really hurt him at all. And look at that damage output, man. Like 71,000 there. The fight is just pretty much over now, and it just barely got started. So that's really fun. He's just so crazy, man. It's so much fun. But yeah, like I was saying, he has great block efficiency and also has great regen as well. So he is like crazy sustainable. He's just a great quester, to be honest. So here I dropped the SP1, and the fight is now over. And yeah, Bishop is just a crazy champion, man. I feel like he's arguably the best Mutant 7-star. Him or Sunspot for sure. And he just has like a ton of value as a dual threat champion, and he's just a crazy attacker too. A very, very good champion overall. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Bishop, and yeah, that's about it for me.